Ladies and gentlemen, we spend most of our lives learning how to build careers, families, wealth, friendships, reputations. But very few of us are taught how to protect what we build, especially when we reach the stage of life where it becomes more fragile. Old age is not a decline, it is a transition. And like any transition, it requires vision, planning, and discipline. Being careful in old age is not about limiting freedom. It's about preserving freedom. It's about being intentional. Intentional with our health, our finances, our time, and our relationships. We prepare not because we are weak, but because we understand the responsibility of living a long life. Let's talk about health. Prevention is leadership. Choosing to eat right, exercise, go for checkups. It's not a chore, it's an act of self-respect. The energy you invest in your health today is the independence you preserve for tomorrow. Financially, being careful means being wise. It means saving when it's easy so you don't suffer when it's hard. It means having honest conversations about wills, plans, and legacies. Not because you're obsessed with the end, but because you value those you'll leave behind. And finally, emotionally, being careful means staying connected. Loneliness in old age is a quiet epidemic. We must continue to nurture our social circles, mentor younger generations, and keep showing up for life. A meaningful life does not end, it evolves. So here's the truth: if you built a meaningful life in your youth, you owe it to yourself to protect it in your age. Being careful isn't about being afraid, it's about being awake. Because leadership, even self-leadership, doesn't stop at retirement. It just changes form. Be deliberate, be thoughtful, be careful, because your future deserves the same attention and care as your past. Thank you. True leadership in life includes preparing for the future, including our own old age. Being careful in our later years isn't about fear, it's about clarity, responsibility, and honoring the legacy of the life we've built. When we speak of leadership, it is often associated with ambition, power, and the pursuit of success in our youth. We envision individuals striving to achieve and overcome obstacles, building careers, making decisions that shape the future, and leaving their mark on the world. But leadership is not just about what we do in the prime years of our lives. It is about how we navigate all stages of life, including old age. The foundation for a successful and meaningful life does not end when we retire or when we enter our later years. In fact, the essence of true leadership is built on how well we prepare for and manage that transition. As we age, the stakes change. Our priorities shift from building to preserving. We begin to understand that we are no longer simply responsible for ourselves, but also for the lives we have touched, the relationships we have nurtured, and the legacies we will leave behind. This understanding brings clarity, a recognition that to truly honor our past, we must also protect and steward our future. We prepare for old age not because we are weak or fearful, but because we recognize the importance of staying in control of our lives as long as possible. Preparing for old age is an act of responsibility. We don't wait until we are at the doorstep of retirement to think about the future. Leadership in this area means having a vision for what we want our lives to look like, even when our energy may not be what it once was. It means making decisions today about our health, our finances, and our relationships that will allow us to live with dignity, independence, and purpose in our later years. And these decisions don't come from a place of fear or limitation. They come from a place of empowerment and foresight. Being careful in old age begins with clarity about our health. Many of us take our bodies for granted when we are younger. We work hard, we take on challenges, and we push our physical limits. But the truth is, our bodies are not invincible. Our energy, mobility, and overall health decline over time, and the earlier we recognize this reality, the better we can prepare. Investing in our health today, through exercise, balanced nutrition, regular checkups, and mental wellness, isn't a sign of weakness, it's an investment in our future. It's an understanding that our quality of life in old age is directly tied to the choices we make now. Preventative care, being proactive with our health, and developing a long-term wellness mindset is one of the most powerful forms of leadership we can practice. Financial stability is another critical area where care and preparation are paramount. For many, the transition to retirement can be stressful. The reality of living on a fixed income, paying for health care, and managing daily expenses without a steady paycheck can create anxiety. But the foundation for a comfortable and secure retirement is laid long before we stop working. Saving, budgeting, and investing with the future in mind, while still in the prime of our careers, are not only financially wise decisions, but also a reflection of responsible leadership. It's a choice to make sacrifices today so that we don't have to make compromises later. It's about creating the space for peace of mind in old age, knowing that we have the resources to live comfortably without relying on others or living in fear of financial instability. Along with financial stability comes the emotional aspect of aging. Too often, society paints a picture of old age as a time of isolation and decline. But the reality is that a fulfilling old age is built on the same principles that guided our youth: connection, purpose, and engagement. Being careful in old age means continuing to nurture relationships, staying engaged with family and friends, and building new social circles. It means finding ways to continue contributing to society, whether through volunteerism, mentorship, or simply sharing our knowledge and experiences with younger generations. Maintaining our mental and emotional health requires staying active, staying curious, and remaining connected to the world around us. Emotional leadership means making an effort to avoid loneliness and isolation, which can be the silent killers of our vitality. It's about keeping our minds sharp, our hearts open, and our spirits strong no matter how many years pass. Finally, being careful in old age is about ensuring that we leave behind a legacy that reflects the life we've lived. Leadership is not just about what we accomplish in our lifetime, but how we pass on our wisdom, values, and lessons to the next generation. This is not only about material wealth, it is also about the emotional and intellectual wealth we impart. It's about having conversations about wills, end-of-life wishes, and sharing our experiences with the younger generation. Leadership in old age is about ensuring that what we've built, both in tangible and intangible ways, continues to have an impact even after we are gone. Being careful in old age is not a sign of weakness. It is an act of wisdom, foresight, and leadership. It's about understanding that life is not a straight line, but a journey with many phases. The choices we make today shape our tomorrow. By being careful, by taking care of ourselves and planning for our futures, we honor the life we've lived and the legacy we wish to leave behind. True leadership doesn't end when we reach retirement. It evolves, it matures, and it continues to have a profound impact on those around us. So, let us be leaders in every phase of our lives, not just in our youth, but also in our old age. Let us prepare with care, live with purpose, and age with dignity. Old age is often misunderstood, sometimes viewed with a sense of inevitability or even dread. Many think of it as a time of decline when vitality fades and life's possibilities narrow. But the truth is that old age can be a time of wisdom, reflection, and grace if we take the necessary steps to prepare for it. Being careful in old age means not only protecting what we've built, but ensuring we maintain our independence, health, and emotional well-being as we grow older. It's about approaching aging with the same leadership mindset we apply to all other areas of life: planning, foresight, and responsibility. At the core of this careful approach is a commitment to health. We often hear that health is wealth, but it's easy to overlook the impact of this truth when we're young and full of energy. When we're in our prime, we often take our bodies for granted, pushing through fatigue or discomfort without much thought. But as we age, the consequences of these habits catch up with us. That's why being careful in old age starts long before we reach our later years. It starts with taking care of ourselves, our physical health, our mental health, and our emotional well-being. Today, the steps we take now, such as eating nutritious food, exercising regularly, and prioritizing rest, directly affect how we'll experience our later years. Prevention is the foundation of this care. Just like any leader understands that taking action early is key to avoiding crisis later, we must approach our health with a proactive mindset. Regular checkups, preventative screenings, and mental health practices aren't just good ideas, they are essential. The healthier we are as we age, the more we can continue to engage with the world in meaningful ways. This is not about trying to stop the clock. It's about doing everything we can to live fully and independently for as long as possible. When we maintain good health, we give ourselves the freedom to continue pursuing our passions, connect with loved ones, and remain active members of society. Alongside physical health, our financial health plays a crucial role in our ability to live well in old age. Financial preparation for old age is often neglected or delayed, but this is one of the most significant ways we can care for ourselves as we grow older. The security we build today through careful saving, wise investing, and disciplined spending creates the foundation for a comfortable future. Financial independence allows us to maintain control over our lives, to make choices based on what we value rather than what we can afford. It's not just about having enough money to get by. It's about creating the freedom to enjoy life in our later years, to pursue interests, travel, or simply relax without the anxiety of financial strain. Having a well-thought-out financial plan gives us the peace of mind that comes with knowing we're prepared, which is one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves in old age. But the careful approach to aging isn't solely about health and money. It's also about relationships and emotional well-being. As we age, we may find that our social circles shrink, whether due to the passing of loved ones or simply the natural distance that can grow between people over time. Yet, emotional well-being is just as essential as physical health. The loneliness that often accompanies old age can lead to depression and a decreased quality of life. This is why it's so important to stay connected, to continue fostering relationships with family, friends, and the community around us. As we get older, we need to make a conscious effort to stay socially engaged, whether by attending social gatherings, participating in hobbies, or volunteering. Meaningful connections give us a sense of purpose, keep us emotionally fulfilled, and contribute to our overall health. This emotional care extends to maintaining a sense of purpose. Having a purpose is not just for the young and ambitious. It is equally important for those in their later years. Many people find joy in mentoring others, pursuing new hobbies, or contributing to causes they care about. This sense of purpose can create a lasting impact, not just on the individual, but on the community as a whole. It helps us stay mentally engaged, remain curious, and live a life full of meaning even as we age. In fact, studies have shown that having a purpose can contribute to longer and healthier lives. When we feel connected to something larger than ourselves, we feel energized, motivated, and committed to living with intention. Furthermore, being careful in old age also involves the legacy we leave behind, the way we plan for the future, the values we share, and the decisions we make about passing on assets or knowledge to the next generation are all part of this careful approach. Leadership in old age means ensuring that our legacy is reflective of the life we've lived and the values we hold dear. It's about preparing for the end, not in a morbid way, but in a way that honors what we've achieved and ensures that we've done everything possible to ease the burden on those who will follow. Conversations about estate planning, inheritance, and end-of-life decisions can be difficult, but they are crucial for ensuring that we leave behind a clear, organized, and meaningful legacy. The careful approach to old age is not about slowing down or stepping back from life. It's about embracing the years ahead with intention and mindfulness. It's about understanding that life's later years are just as important as the early ones. By prioritizing health, finances, relationships, and legacy, we can continue to lead fulfilling lives well into old age, with the freedom and independence that allow us to thrive. True leadership is not about what we achieve in youth. It's about how we sustain and enrich the life we've built, how we navigate the challenges of aging with grace, and how we leave behind a legacy that serves as a guide for those who follow. As we approach old age, one of the most profound challenges we face is ensuring that we continue to live meaningful, fulfilling lives while maintaining a sense of independence. This is where the importance of being careful in old age becomes clear. It is not about resigning ourselves to limitations, but about preparing ourselves to navigate this phase with purpose, responsibility, and foresight. True leadership in this phase of life means not simply responding to what happens, but actively shaping our future to ensure that we can live the way we want to for as long as possible. This careful approach involves health, finances, and emotional well-being, all of which require deliberate planning and effort, and all of which are key to maintaining independence and dignity in our later years. The foundation of living well in old age is preserving our health. The choices we make today about diet, exercise, and medical care are investments in the future. Health is often something we take for granted when we are young. But as we age, it becomes increasingly clear that good health is not inevitable. It's a result of the actions we take over time. Being careful in old age starts with a proactive approach to health that emphasizes prevention over reaction. Regular medical checkups, maintaining a balanced diet, staying active, and addressing health issues before they become serious are all important. The earlier we develop good habits, the more likely it is that we will maintain our independence as we age. Health is the cornerstone of everything. If we don't have the energy or mobility to care for ourselves, we become reliant on others, and this diminishes the quality of life. Investing in our health doesn't just mean avoiding illness, it means setting ourselves up to continue living actively and with purpose. For example, regular exercise helps us maintain strength and flexibility, which are crucial for staying independent. Additionally, taking care of our mental health by managing stress, maintaining relationships, and staying mentally active can also contribute to a longer, more fulfilling life, but health alone is not enough. Financial independence is equally critical when it comes to being careful in old age. Without financial security, the challenges of aging are made even more difficult. Imagine trying to enjoy the later years of your life, only to be burdened by the stress of not having enough money to cover basic needs or healthcare expenses. This is where planning comes in. Being careful about finances means making responsible choices early in life to save and invest wisely so that when old age arrives, we are not left struggling financially. It means creating a financial plan that takes into account the possibility of living longer than expected, the increasing costs of healthcare, and the need for stable income. Many people make the mistake of underestimating how much money they will need in old age, assuming that the cost of living will decrease or that they won't need as much money. However, the reality is that medical expenses tend to rise with age, and many retirees find themselves in financial difficulty simply because they did not plan adequately. Financial planning is not just about saving money, it's about creating an income strategy that will allow us to live comfortably and with dignity in our later years. This could include investing in retirement accounts, purchasing health insurance, or even considering long-term care insurance. It is also about making responsible decisions regarding spending, avoiding debt, and understanding the importance of creating an estate plan. Financial security in old age allows us to focus on enjoying life, pursuing hobbies, and spending time with loved ones without the constant anxiety of financial strain. Finally, being careful in old age involves emotional well-being and social connection. One of the greatest challenges as we age is maintaining our emotional health. Many people experience feelings of isolation, loneliness, or depression as they grow older, particularly if they lose loved ones, experience health challenges, or find themselves with fewer social engagements. This emotional toll can significantly affect our quality of life, making it even more important to be proactive about staying emotionally engaged and socially connected. The truth is, staying connected is one of the most important factors in maintaining mental health in old age. Research consistently shows that people who maintain strong social networks tend to live longer and enjoy better health than those who isolate themselves. Therefore, one of the key components of being careful in old age is ensuring that we continue to nurture relationships and stay engaged with the world around us. This might mean maintaining close ties with family, participating in community activities, volunteering, or pursuing hobbies that allow us to connect with others. A strong support system of friends and loved ones can help reduce stress and combat the feelings of isolation that can come with aging. Furthermore, continuing to have a sense of purpose in our lives, whether through mentoring, learning new skills, or engaging in meaningful activities, can significantly enhance emotional well-being. By staying active, mentally engaged, and socially connected, we can continue to live with joy and fulfillment no matter our age. The key to aging gracefully and with dignity lies in being intentional about every aspect of our lives. It's not just about getting older, it's about living well as we grow older. Being careful in old age means understanding the importance of maintaining good health, managing our finances responsibly, and staying emotionally engaged with the world. By taking these steps, we not only enhance the quality of our own lives, but also set a positive example for others, showing that aging is not something to fear, but something to approach with confidence and care. Leadership doesn't end when we reach a certain age. It evolves. By being careful in our approach to aging, we ensure that we can continue to live with independence, purpose, and vitality, no matter how many years pass. As we move through the stages of life, we often focus on the challenges and opportunities that arise in our youth and middle years. Yet, the later stages, our old age, are equally important, and the way we prepare for this phase significantly impacts the quality of our lives. Being careful in old age means preparing thoughtfully and consciously for the physical, emotional, and financial challenges that inevitably come with aging. This careful preparation is not about fearing the passage of time, but about taking proactive steps to ensure that we can continue to live with purpose, health, and independence. The first step in being careful in old age involves taking a strategic approach to our health. Too often, we take our health for granted, especially when we're younger, assuming that it will always be there. However, as we age, the consequences of neglecting our health in our earlier years become much more apparent. That's why the foundation of a happy, independent old age starts with good health. And this starts well before we reach our senior years. We need to prioritize preventative care, making regular check-ups and healthy lifestyle choices part of our daily routine. Healthy habits like balanced eating, staying active, and managing stress are not just important in our youth, they are even more essential as we age. Regular exercise, for example, helps us maintain our mobility and strength, which are crucial for independence. Equally, paying attention to our mental health, staying intellectually engaged, and managing stress can help us maintain clarity and emotional balance. Regular health screenings such as those for blood pressure, cholesterol, and cancer become critical as we age to catch potential issues early. In this way, being careful about our health is an investment that ensures we can continue to engage fully with life. Proactive care is one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves, allowing us to preserve our independence and continue to enjoy the things we love. Next, the financial aspect of old age cannot be overlooked. As we age, the reality of not being able to work indefinitely becomes more evident, and we must recognize the importance of financial independence. Financial security is a cornerstone of well-being in later years, as it allows us to maintain our lifestyle and, perhaps most importantly, to age with dignity. Being careful in old age means making smart financial decisions early on, such as saving for retirement, investing wisely, and planning for potential healthcare costs. While it's easy to think that we can catch up later, the truth is that the earlier we begin to save and plan, the better positioned we'll be for a financially comfortable future. The reality is that we often live longer than we expect, and many people underestimate how much they'll need for retirement. Healthcare costs, in particular, can skyrocket as we age, especially if long-term care is needed. This means that, to be careful in old age, we must start early to save for potential medical expenses, unexpected emergencies, and everyday living. Financial preparation goes beyond simply saving money. It also involves creating a comprehensive plan, including a will, health insurance, and other important legal documents, so that we have the resources to handle unexpected situations with confidence. A solid financial foundation ensures that we can continue to enjoy our lives without the constant worry of running out of money or being a financial burden on others. In addition to physical and financial preparation, the emotional aspect of aging is equally significant. As we grow older, the dynamics of our social life often change. We may lose loved ones, experience physical limitations, or find ourselves feeling disconnected from our community. These changes can be challenging and lead to feelings of isolation, loneliness, or even depression. Therefore, being careful in old age involves taking steps to maintain and build social connections. Our relationships, whether with family, friends, or our community, are a vital part of our emotional well-being. Engaging in social activities, nurturing relationships, and staying involved in the lives of others can help us avoid the loneliness that too often accompanies aging. These connections not only provide emotional support, but also serve as a source of joy, fulfillment, and purpose. Whether it's participating in a local club, volunteering, or simply keeping in touch with loved ones, staying socially engaged helps maintain mental health, reduces stress, and gives us a sense of belonging. In fact, Studies have shown that maintaining strong social ties can even contribute to longer and healthier lives. Being careful in old age means prioritizing emotional connections and being intentional about the people we surround ourselves with, making sure that we continue to lead lives full of love, connection, and shared experiences. Lastly, as we think about being careful in old age, it's important to consider the legacy we leave behind. Legacy is often seen as something that happens after we've passed on, but in reality, it's something we build throughout our lives, including in our later years. As we age, we have an opportunity to reflect on what we've accomplished and to ensure that we leave a positive impact on those who come after us. This doesn't just mean leaving financial wealth. It also includes passing down wisdom, values, and knowledge that can guide the next generation. Whether it's through mentoring, volunteering, or simply sharing our life experiences, we all have something valuable to offer. Being careful in old age means taking the time to share our stories, impart lessons, and pass on the traditions that are important to us. It's about creating a legacy that reflects the kind of life we've lived and the values we hold dear. This can also involve making practical decisions, such as preparing an estate plan or discussing our wishes for end-of-life care, so that we leave behind clear guidance for our loved ones. Ultimately, leaving a legacy is not just about what we've accumulated, but about how we've touched the lives of others and the values we pass on to future generations. The impact we make during our later years can continue to influence those around us long after we're gone. Being careful in old age is about more than just managing the challenges that come with aging. It's about proactively setting ourselves up for a fulfilling, independent, and meaningful later life. By focusing on health, finances, emotional well-being, and legacy, we can ensure that we don't just survive in old age, but thrive. Aging gracefully requires preparation, mindfulness, and care. It requires the same level of leadership we apply to other phases of life, leading ourselves with intention, making choices that support our well-being, and leaving behind a legacy that will inspire those who follow. By taking these steps, we can approach the later years of our lives with confidence, knowing that we are well prepared for whatever comes our way. As we age, many people focus on maintaining the aspects of their lives that they hold dear: health, relationships, and security. However, it's often the careful planning and foresight that make a difference between simply surviving in old age and truly thriving. Being careful in old age isn't just about adapting to the inevitable changes that come with aging. It's about embracing these changes with purpose and preparation. As we grow older, it becomes increasingly important to recognize that we are not only preparing for old age, but also shaping the quality of the years we have left. Through proactive decisions and intentional actions, we can enhance our health, wealth, and emotional well-being, ensuring that we continue to live life fully. A major aspect of being careful in old age is our health. Physical health is one of the most valuable assets we can possess as we age. It's easy to neglect our health when we're younger, but the effects of poor lifestyle choices, such as a lack of exercise, poor diet, or insufficient rest, become more pronounced as we get older. Proactively caring for our health today sets the foundation for a more independent and active future. Regular physical activity such as walking, swimming, or yoga not only helps to maintain physical strength, but also improves flexibility and balance, reducing the risk of falls and injuries as we age. Nutrition plays an equally critical role. Eating a balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins helps maintain our weight, lower cholesterol, and manage blood pressure, all of which are vital for aging well. Moreover, it is essential to have routine health checkups and screenings to catch any potential issues early. As we age, certain conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, and osteoporosis become more common, and being proactive about managing these conditions can greatly reduce their impact. But health isn't just physical, it's mental too. Staying mentally active by engaging in activities that challenge the brain, such as reading, puzzles, or learning new skills, helps keep the mind sharp. Additionally, managing stress and maintaining emotional well-being are just as vital to preserving our overall health. By being careful about our health, we ensure that we can continue to enjoy life independently and with a high quality of living. In parallel with health, financial security is another key aspect of being careful in old age. Financial independence allows us to age without the stress of worrying about how we will pay for daily expenses or unexpected medical bills. This is why it's crucial to start planning for retirement long before we reach our senior years. Saving consistently, investing wisely, and living within our means are all steps we can take to build financial security for the future. Far too often, people neglect the importance of planning for retirement and leave it to the later years of their working life, by which time it's too late to save enough to live comfortably without employment income. By making small sacrifices today, we can ensure that we have enough resources to live with dignity in the years ahead. It's also essential to factor in healthcare costs, which tend to rise as we age. Long-term care insurance or setting aside money for healthcare expenses can provide a safety net, ensuring that we don't have to make difficult financial decisions if we require additional care in our later years. One aspect of financial preparation that is often overlooked is the importance of estate planning. Having a clear plan for how your assets will be distributed after you pass not only ensures that your wishes are followed, but also provides peace of mind for your loved ones. Additionally, knowing that you are financially prepared allows you to enjoy life in your later years without the anxiety of financial instability, making the process of aging more manageable and less stressful.